Friends, today let's talk a bit on plastics. A boon or a bane, a curse or a blessing. When you start talking about plastic, before the coming to the conclusion, let me start with a big statement saying that plastic is more of a consumption problem rather than a waste problem. Once I complete this talk, I will come back to this point. A lot of news today in newspaper and in the media regarding the menace of plastics. In fact, the Brahmapuram recent incident of burning of plastics there, people started talking about the lack of biomining. What is biomining? When you dump a lot of waste for a long time, the waste is dumped and it is staying there, and somebody is trying to segregate with mechanical or manual labor. You try to segregate and try to recycle certain things, reuse certain things, and dispose properly. This is biomining, but is it the real problem? First you dump everything and then try to biomine and try to recover and reuse. In fact, in the bargain, there was a fire and the plastics caught fire, and there was a big menace of dioxins and furans are all coming out and affecting the health of people and other organisms. Plastic is a very good substance in the sense it is a great use to mankind. In fact, plastic is one of the triumph of mankind. They say it has replaced metals and many other materials in all walks of life. Today, we can't think of a life without plastic. The basic reason is there are certain very good properties of plastic. They are very light in weight, they can be easily molded, very aesthetic, they are poor conductors, insulators. They can also be very durable, they can resist corrosion, very easy to manufacture. Now it has become very cheap also, and there are different varieties of plastics are available today. Essentially, when you look at plastic, on the basis of plastics, we have thermoplastics and thermosetting plastic. Thermoplastics are plastics like polyethylene, polyethylene chloride, polypropylene and things like that, polyester, that can be heated and molded. After molding, if you heat it again, it will soften again. It can be reused again. Thermosetting plastics are cross-linked plastics, so once it is heated and molded, once again you cannot reshape or reheat and mold it again. Bakelite is a typical example of thermosetting plastics. But whatever be the plastics, it's very important that plastic. The biggest problem with the plastic is that during the manufacturing, during the consumption, during the disposal, it's a challenge to the environment. It is going to affect the environment. Today, we can see plastics in every walk of life: buckets, bottles, carry bags, and sacks, and clothings, fibers. In health industry, packaging of tablets, syringes, gloves. In packaging industries for various packagings, every walk of life, in agriculture, in machineries, in industry usage, it replaces certain parts of machinery. So huge quantities of plastics are being utilized and it is being consumed, and waste is being generated in the long run. But recently, there was a ban on the single-use plastics, which is very critical, because single-use plastics are, the maximum quantities of plastics which end up as waste, because other plastics which are used in machineries or other thicker type of films and things like that can get reused again and again, and it stays for a longer period. But if you look at the overall impact on the environment, at some point of time, whether it is a single-use plastic or a long-term use plastic, it is going to come as waste only. And today, let me tell you, in India, we are only around 15 kg per capita consumption of plastic, whereas in US and other countries it is 110 kg per capita consumption. World average itself is 30. But because of our huge population, the total plastic consumed by us is one of the largest in the world, and also the quantities of plastic being generated as waste is also maximum from India. But then once the per capita consumption increases more and more, because of the various advantages of plastic, people see what is going to happen is there's going to be a big calamity with regards to the disposal problem. So it is very, very important that people step into it. Government bodies, controlling mechanisms like Pollution Control Board, National Green Tribunals, NGOs, technical leaders, the fraternity of teachers, technologists, industrialists, they all have to come together, and we have to realize the big problem which we are going to face in advance, and start action now itself. Otherwise it will be too late. It has to, as we said earlier, it has to start from education of people. Maybe it will take 5 to 10 years educating, starting from the children. A generation has to come up with a belief and faith in protection of environment. The problems of plastic should be known to them. So the 3 R's they talk about: reduce, reuse and recycle. This is the slogan for plastic. People have to understand this. Otherwise, you can see, the banning of single-use plastics today, how far it has become effective. And the tin films were banned. Films less than 30 microns, 50 microns, 100 microns were banned in many countries. But in effect, this does not happen because, certain consumer good companies, they still use for packaging all the plastics. So at one point you say that people should not use carry bags, plastic carry bags, alternate materials used, but then you go to the shop, you will see all sorts of packings of various food items and other items. So industry itself, the industry leaders have to have a relook, introspection, and then they have to try to reduce the consumption. That is the only way. So that is why I said plastic is more of a consumption problem rather than a waste problem. Only you look at it that way, then only there will be a realization, and there will be some reduction in the because by banning, by control measures, very little you can do. You see, there are a lot of plastic bags being banned today. Still, I can see around all these garbage bags, people using garbage bags or plastic bags. All the food items getting packets. You order something through Amazon or some online purchases, everything comes through plastic bags. But why we cannot have a very strong control measures? First of all, individuals themselves have to have some constraints. There are so many alternate materials, like clothes and jute and things like that. But some advantages of plastic is there. So people have to have some research and come out with some ingenious materials, local materials which can easily replace. So people are happy to use that and educate them so that they do the segregation at source, segregate and recycle maximum, and then only biodegradable go into the disposal methodologies, and we do not throw plastics around, we do not waste plastics just like that. So along with reduce, recycle and reuse, one more R I will add, that is remember. So this is a warning to each individual. Everyone has to think that plastic is a boon as well as a bane, and plastic problem is a problem of consumption problem, more of a consumption problem than a waste problem. So thank you.